Hello everyone, it's Koos here, the entire legacy team actually. And this is our last video for the year. And this is where we look back and report back to you, see what happened in 2023. And man, a lot of things have happened. And of course, to wish you all a happy new year and God bless, and really hope all your dreams come true this year, which we will face together, I hope. You know, we will carry on this site, which brings me to the first topic. You will know that YouTube then started making noises that they want to place ads on legacy videos. And I was very annoyed with that because I didn't start this to make money. I didn't start this to have silly little ads of Brooklaks or whatever on the videos. I don't really like that type of advertising. I feel it runs on the back of veterans, of people who's better than those who's doing the ads. But I had no choice, because it was either that or closing the channel. With closing the channel, of course, I don't mean it will disappear completely. And I didn't mean it then either. And I'm not closing the channel down right now either, before there's misunderstandings again. But we had to allow the ads. If we want to keep being on YouTube, man, that's the rules. There's nothing I can do about it. And so now we're running most of them with some ads on, certain ones not. The fact that there's a Brooklaks ad or something in the middle of a video is not to say we actually support that. But that caused quite a polemic, as people would say. That was quite a story and a half. I've never had such a response before. I mean, we had about every 10th person who watch a video where I explained the situation and asked whether we should close YouTube down or not, actually made a comment. And it was all of them. There wasn't a single negative one. All of them was just like, man, we can live with this nonsense. Don't you worry about it. Just carry on. And I wish to thank you for that. Really, I want to say to you, thank you. I say to people here often that we, the presenters, we need a bit of prayer now and then, you know. We talk to a lot of people all the time. We share their hardships. We share all their experiences. And after a while, it starts building up. And it does get to you. At some stage, it gets to you. Well, it got to me. Whether it gets to the rest of the guys, I don't know. And our females, I just don't know. But I knew with me that, you know what, you start living in that world, you go back to that stress, you go back to that sadness, things like that, and it does work on you. So it's a good thing just to, you know, to relax and just shrug it off the best you can. So when I got all that support from you guys, it was just fantastic. Thank you for that. And thank you also to everyone here who made a good comment. You know, I know I've got a very strict policy. I don't tolerate any horrible comments, even if it is said in a way which I don't like. And above all, you don't abuse the Lord's name on this show. I will just chase you away. For a few times that it actually got through our censorship program, only word that. But we do look at the videos, of course, for this type of thing, as well as anything which can bring our guests into trouble with the law or anybody else. You know, at the last time I counted, there were at least 22 different intelligence agencies right across the world watching what we are doing. I hope they learn something. And yeah, and I think in 2 videos the Lord's name was used in vain. And I wish to apologize for all of you there. It slipped through. It will certainly not happen again if I have anything to say about it. I just have no sense of humor on it, and neither should you. And if I look at the videos, the letters I received from a few of you about that, people who said to me, they just stopped watching there and they just turn it off. That's how strong people feel about these things. Whether you might think it's ridiculous to react that strongly, you know what? It's the way we feel. Also, it's freedom of choice, you know. There was a lot of people who felt that legacy should never got involved in our Hamas Israel story, even though it's South Africans who's talking, it's South Africans who are fighting there. And we know that the current government in South Africa is going to come down on those people if they can do it. probably under the Mercenary Act. They've been threatening to do it since my time. And I think this time they're actually serious, and they definitely got to make a move. So to me, it was important. It was important that the news come out, especially since it seems to me that the mainstream media are just a bunch of liars. You really cannot know what's happening at the place unless you speak to the people who's actually there, who's got friends who's right inside that fighting, whose brigade is the one who's doing the most of the fighting, the Golani Brigade. I will never regret bringing out those videos. I had to ban quite a few people. Man, I was insulted. My wife was insulted. I cannot even repeat online for you what letters and messages we got. People just went, I don't know. I just went insane, but not to worry. There will be further episodes as things go along there, just to keep everybody informed. After all, we don't consider the Israeli Defense Forces our enemy. Not my age people anyway. Not to say all they do is correct. Really, it's not. I think personally their tactics are totally wrong. I think they overreacted there completely. But on the other hand, it wasn't my decision to make. And I do feel for the people who died on both sides. In actual fact, I feel for both sides. It's horrible. And I also believe there's something much bigger in the background, which, if I have to tell you, you will often say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I wrote books on this, so I have a feeling what's happening there, and it's all in the occult books anyway. They predicted it, and they are in control of the world. So they're managing this, they're staging it. And of course, innocents die, and they just don't care. But that's a topic for another day. But probably almost certainly when we have such an episode again, I will not allow comments. For the simple reason that it came to my attention that our own intelligence agencies, for that I mean South African, is actually closely watching who says what. And then, of course, they make notes about that. So I'll just not allow them that opportunity to do it. Freedom of speech. Man, if you believe in freedom of speech, I must tell you, you're a better man than me, because I don't believe in it at all. I don't see it. Freedom of speech is extremely limited. In certain cases, it should be limited because of hate speech. Obviously, you can't go and tell become anti-Semitic or violent speech, in getting people to commit violent acts because of you. Blah, 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 that type of thing. Yeah, it should be limited. It's not totally free. But the way we see it going now online is amazing. It is amazing how it's suppressed it is. Even legacy, we suppressed it, man. We know we've got a lot more views than what we got, but we're grateful for whatever, It's like book sales. You always want more. And it will never be possible for us to make a living of what we do. Let me say that to you too. On average, we make about $50-$60 a month, perhaps, on the ads on YouTube. That's why I never wanted to do it, because I felt it's just not worth it. Financially, it's a waste of time. You have about $3, if you're lucky, $3 for every 1,000 views. Now, that money hasn't even been paid over yet because I couldn't be bothered to collect it. I will collect it when it's about $300-$400, or let's say 4 or 5 months from now, I'll bother about it. And it's a total process. You have to, of course, register. They want all your details. Yeah, it's such a free country, or free world we live in, Being sarcastic here. It's going to get worse, much worse. Then the other news we have here at Legacy is there's two major news actually coming out. The first one I spoke about before. We want to change when the videos come out. And it seems, Andrew tells me that Facebook is a Facebook page. If you haven't joined it, please do so. It's always interesting what's happening there. And Andrew has tight control about it, which is a good thing. You will never find me on Facebook. I want nothing to do with Facebook. I banned my books. And therefore, you know what? I don't need them. But you can go to Facebook and join a community where people do discuss things. They're a lot more open than I am, I think. And from the statistics there, we can see that most of the views are actually on a Friday on Facebook. So we thought, let us change the scenario a little bit at Legacy itself. So what we're going to do is from the new year, somewhere in the new year, probably next week after, we're going to start bringing out the major videos on a Friday and a Sunday. And that means they can run for 48 hours, which is what I want instead of the 24 hours now before a new one comes along. Gives them a bit more exposure. It makes sense to me, and I don't have to worry about what's happening on the Sabbath day, which is a Saturday, from Friday night till Saturday night. That's a biblical Sabbath. It was changed by the Catholic Church to the Lord's Day, which is Sunday. I'm not getting into that argument again. But for me, I feel very uncomfortable to even switch my phone on, or never mind a computer on the Sabbath day. I'm busy with God's things. And it's important to me. So I like that idea. So we're going to try it like that. We bring it out on Friday, and then a Sunday, and then probably on a Tuesday we will bring our weekly message out with our friend, our chaplain, Andre Olivier, to whom I want to give a special thanks here today as well. You guys would not know how much work Andre is doing in the background. Man, we get a lot of letters from people, especially from the wives, that says, my husband is not doing well. And then Andre would start praying. Or we would visit people in hospital, or we would, lots of things happens in the background with Andre Olivier. So I want to thank Andre for the fantastic service he's doing for us here. There's a lot of you who really enjoy those clips of his. It's never long, it's quite short, but it's to the point. It's op die man af, soos die ouens sê. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch to Afrikaans now, because there's always some people who complain that we speak English here. Mense, die rede hoekom ons soms Engels praat is omdat daar soveel mense is wat nie Afrikaans verstaan nie. En wat ons doen hier is actually belangrik. Dit is eintlik baie belangrik. Ons is nie net besig om die manne die kans te gee om te praat nie. As ek sê manne, dan bedoel ek nou die vroue ook. Hulle is besig om hulle storie te vertel en hulle voel goed daarna. Hulle voel beter met die lewe na wat hulle het vertel het. En hulle los ook iets na. Dit is 'n legacy as jy daaraan dink. En het is ook so dat baie jong offisiere, ander manskappe wat op die oomblik in die weermagte van die wêreld is, hulle kyk na hierdie programme om te leer. En laat ek julle vertel, hulle leer nogal baie. Ons kry briewe van professors van die skole af, die militêre akademies en die goed, en hulle is almal baie beïndruk met die kaliber manne en vroue wat hier verskyn, en ek ook. Maar ek sit baie keer hier met 'n oop bek, ek kan nie glo wat ek hoor nie. Fantastiese mense. En dan ook, jy weet, daar is so baie mense wat oorsee gegaan het as jong kinders, en hulle verstaan ook nie meer Afrikaans werklik so goed nie. Val as die ouens het vinnig praat of met 'n lekker Namakwaland aksent of 'n ding nie, dan verstaan hulle niks. Nou is ouens wat vir ons sê, hoorie, hoekom sit julle nie Engelse onderskrifte net in nie? Weet jy, is nie so maklik om dit te doen nie. Jy moet eintlik die programme gaan koop, die software koop om dit te doen, en dan moet jy weer die hele ding basies so edit dat hy mooi lyk, dat dit op die regte plek inkom. Dis bitterlik moeilik. Dit vat verskriklik baie tyd. Ons het nie die tyd om dit te doen nie. Hierdie is nou nie iets wat vir ons betaal word nie. So in ander woorde, ons doen maar wat ons kan doen, soos ons doen. En almal wat hier werk is ouens wat vrywilligers is. Ja, regtig, hulle kry niks hiervoor nie, en dit kos hulle geld. Maar die rede is hoekom ons die Patreon begin het, maar ek sal nou oor die Patreon ook praat. Kom ek by die ander groot nuus uit. Ons het nog 3 nuwe presenters, aanbieders, is die woord in Afrikaans. Ja, ek self praat nie Afrikaans by die huis nie, ons praat Engels of Frans met mekaar, en as ek nou Rebecca nou regtig ontstel het met iets as ons in Duits begin goed sê, wat ek net hier en daar 'n woord verstaan, maar ek vermoed sy kan meer Afrikaans verstaan as wat sy voorgee, maar in elk geval, ons het 3 nuwe aanbieders hier. Ons sal vroeg in die jaar ons 'n video met hulle maak, net om hulle aan julle bekend te stel. Julle ken al drie eintlik, al drie was op Legacy. Die eerste een is Chris Koemer. Hy sit daar in Nieu-Seeland, hy was 'n lugmag intelligensieoffisier. Baie goeie man, ek verwag nogal baie van hom. Dan het ons vir Tonita. Sy was net hierdie week, ek dink laasweek was sy ook 'n intelligensieoffisier. Ons is bly om hulle aan boord te hê. En dan het ons nog een, my vriendin Anita Els. Sy en nou Step Nudee is besig om 'n boek te skryf oor Step se lewe. Julle onthou vir kolonel Nudee, fantastiese stories, en daar kom nog 2, 3, 4 episodes van hom uit. En hulle wil so 'n toer maak daar deur Angola en Noord-Namibië, Caprivi. Maar kyk wat gaan aan by die ou basisse, gaan na die 3-2 bataljon se begrafplaas. Ons wil dokumentêre maak oor hierdie goed wat gebeur het. Of hoe dit nou daar lyk. En natuurlik die groot Sawati. Sawati hierdie jaar gaan baie groot wees vir 3-2 bataljon. Hulle is op pad Sawati toe, hulle gaan hulle monument daar sit. Ou Step en Anita en ek dink Frans Fourie en dalk nog 'n paar ander ouens. William Matlow, die 7 medies bevelvoerder, een rekkie. Hulle gaan almal so toe voor die tyd al. Hulle wil gaan seker maak alles is reg voor die hoofmanne daar aankom. Met trokke en goed. Waardeur Samuel Moorcroft gereël word. Ons gaan nog praat daaroor ook. Ek dink daar's 'n paar plekke beskikbaar op daai trok. En dit gaan julle so 20-25 000 rand kos vir 'n plek, maar ek gee jou dan kos en water en koeldrank, lyk dit my verniet. En is die hele 2 weke trip van Pretoria af al die pad na Sawati, waar die veldslag plaasgevind het. Die parade gaan daar gebeur met die monument, en dan weer terug. So is die hele 2 weke trip, en ons gaan praat daaroor. Ek en Leon Grobler, ons sal dit onder die aandag bring. So Anita het gesê sy sal saamgaan, so sy gaan nie die gewone opnames maak met Zoom, soos die res van ons nou maar doen nie. Sy gaan actually daar wees, saam met die manne. Violento natuurlik. Ons weet nie wat gebeur in die volgende 4-5 maande nie, maar dit is die plan. Die eerste episode wat sy ook nou wil doen, en dit gaan baie vinnig gebeur, is SW Fourie. Ons Samuel vriend, die springstofman. Julle het almal sy boek gelees, seker, of 'n klomp van julle het, as julle dit nie gedoen het nie. Lees daai boek, dit is 'n baie goeie boek. Baie goeie boek. Nou is weer en Step Nudee wil praat oor springstof, en dan Anita moet dit aanbied. Juist omdat sy niks weet van springstof of nie, so dan woorde, sy sal dit interessant vind. Nie gewone springstof nie, nie gewone te doen met demolisies en goed nie, hier praat ons van spionasie springstof. Met ander woorde, SW het gepraat daarvan, waar jy springstof maak en dit lyk soos 'n botter. Weer daai tipe ding, dis waaroor ons wil praat, en ons sal ook doodseker maak natuurlik, dat daar is geen, daar's nie enige manier hoe 'n terrorist kan leer uit nie. Ons maak baie seker dat wat ons hierso sê, gaan nie 'n terrorist help nie. Ons moet maar seker maak, met sulke goed. Ja, dit is die 3 nuwe aanbieders, ons sal julle amptelik voorstel, maar wil net vir julle sê, as julle luister, mense, julle baie welkom, baie dankie. As al van julle is wat hier sit en luister, julle dink julle kan dit doen, onthou net, jy moet weet hoe om te edit. Dis nogal belangrik. Ons kan hier en daar met 'n edit help natuurlik, hoekom nie, maar in die aard van die saak verwag ons dat die ouens moet kan edit, en as jy wil edit, moet jy baie goeie rekenaar hê, regtig die kort een met omtrent. Ek sal sê, jy is daar 32 gig RAM, op die minste. As jy bietjie minder het, sal dit ook werk, maar praat maar met ons kort altyd hulp. Julle weet, dit is onmoontlik vir my alleen om hierdie goed te doen. En dis ook so dankbaar as toe Fossie gekom het, en toe Andrew, en toe Nikki, en Oom Ad, en die res het gekom, en nou het ons nog meer mense. Weet julle, want Koevoet is besig om met ons te praat. As jy nou op Patreon was, so jy die eerste Koevoet video gesien het, en wow, al dit kan sê, wow, just nou ons is werklik baie goed gewees. Ander klas van mense, en ook 7 mediese bataljon. Hulle is besig om ons te bestorm op 'n groot skaal, ons is besig om hulle op te neem. Julle sal weet ons ou Hugo het ons opgeneem en toe het hy tot sterwe gekom net daarna. So ons het hom al uitgesaai, maar gewoonlik as dit nie daarvoor was nie, sou Hugo se episode nog nie uitgekom het nie. Net weer eens sê vir al die familie van die wat ons reeds opgeneem het hierdie jaar wat tot sterwe gekom het, sover ons weet. RSM Koos Krokodil, Hugo, my groot vriend in Bloemfontein. Weet julle, ons is nog steeds jammer daaroor, maar ons is baie dankbaar dat ons daarom iemand se stories vir julle kan bære iewers. En dit bring my tot die punt, mense, dit is belangrik dat julle met ons praat, dit is belangrik dat ons hierdie goed uitkry. Wil net sê dat baie van die militêre ouens wat nou hulle doktersgrade doen, is ook nou by Legacy, hulle gaan ook die episodes en goed begin sien waar die ouens vra vir hulp. Waar of julle sê, hoor, ons is besig met navorsing of iets. En hierdie is genuen ouens, ek bedoel, hulle is by die universiteit, hulle is geregistreer. Die meeste van hulle was dienspligtiges ook. Of hulle was op een of ander manier in die weermag. En dan vra hulle vir vrywilligers dat julle bietjie met hulle kom praat en so, natuurlik was onder geheimhouding op hulle eie reëls. Ja, dan dit wys vir jou dat Legacy begin 'n impak toon en dit is belangrik vir my want laat ek nou maar weer Engels toeswaai. It's important to me that Legacy is making a difference. I will tell you why, because I recall, and I've said this so many times before, in the 1990s, you couldn't find a single person who, pro-SADF or pro-police or anything. They were all in the camp of, they were all these disguised liberals. They were all anti, they were actually apartheid activists. Yeah, but we never knew about them because they kept so quiet. Yeah, I'm not saying apartheid was a good thing. I will never vote for it. I once spoke to Mr. Mandela. You know my history. I ended up in a human rights law firm with him as a client. So it was a major client, all of them actually. And I had the opportunity to talk to the man, and of course I never tried to hide the fact that I spent 6 years in the police. I'm proud of my service, man. I did the best I could. In fact, the man asked me once, what did I do during the struggle? And I said, Mr. President, I fought like hell. So he says, on which side? And I said, the other side. And so he says, do you know it's over? I said, yes. I realized it's over because at that stage I was thinking of immigrating to New Zealand actually. And so he said, no, just stay in the country and help me. You need to build it. Nou ja, ons kan seker lag vandag, maar toe bly ons nou maar. Jy nou 'n bietjie terugdink daaraan, miskien maar daai tyd al geloop het, maar anyway. I don't want to talk politics on the show, guys. I don't want to do it simply because everybody's got an opinion there, and those opinions are always going to anger somebody. It doesn't matter what you do. What you believe is even people who don't like Andre Willifeer's messages. There are even people who say to me that they don't want to know about, the veterans testifying on the chaplain's corner, giving a testimony where God was in their lives and saved them, or how God is still in their lives, helping them along, giving them peace. People even complain about that. So imagine if we start talking politics here. No, so I won't go further into that. All I'm saying to you is we haven't come this far without making enemies, right? There's a lot of these liberals who's also watching. It's quite funny actually. Every episode has at least 2 John mocks. Never a comment, because then you can get banned. But always 2 people with John mock them, and probably more. We're just watching. Well, actually, we don't even watch it. We just don't mock it and go in their own way. Shame. I really think that's going to bother us so much. But to me, it means that we're actually bringing out our side of the story. Not everybody was anti the SADF. Not everybody was crying and running to London instead of doing your service to your country. No, not everybody was doing that. It was few people who were doing that. Very few. And why should we be ashamed of our service years? I will not be ashamed. And we've had 1 million views last year. 1 million views. And I can tell you it is probably a lot more than that. But that shows to me, and I will repeat this, I recall coming back from the borders 5 or 6 times in a row. I was the colonel's favorite young sergeant to go. Ever since, you're young and unmarried, and man, I didn't mind that. I bought a very nice Techniques hi-fi from my border money. Of course, it was stolen in 2000. What can I say? These things happen, but I had the Techniques hi-fi, man. It was great. I mean, we should actually make an episode like that. I mean, what did you do with your border money? What did you buy yourself? I think most people would have bought a Volkswagen Killer or a thing, car perhaps, deposit for a car or whatever. Other guys used the money to go and study further. I know a lot of the 3-2 battalion guys, whenever university would close, way back north, they would go there to earn some money for the next year of studies. Yeah, that's what we did, we didn't run away. Point I'm trying to make here to you is I think we're annoying those people as well. And I'm very proud of that, and I really like annoying them. No problem. And then that brings me to another subject. And I'm speaking without notes here, so if I jump around a bit, please forgive me. But the other what I want to say is legacy will always help a veteran, right? You've seen with Diaz, you've seen what happened there, where we found Diaz and he was basically, man, I'm saying more, there's just no other word for it. It was just, and it was one of the most saddest things I've ever seen in my life. It was just horrible. But Isle Fourie and Hans Low and those guys, they're making an episode on it as well. It will come out quite soon from now. They will report back to you what they've done to Diaz. And I can tell you, I looked at the videos of how they changed that man's life and else. With your generosity, you were the ones who started giving us money to help him, Diaz. And by next year, March, April, you'll be able to see, because they've arranged for his eyes to be done. They changed that house of his into a villa, man. It is like a spookhuis. They still need a little bit of assistance there to finish the job. They need to do the tiling. They need a few sink platen. They need a little bit of, I think, a toilet or something. Legacy will help with the Patreon money we have. We will make a donation, of course, but we're very limited. I mean, we really don't have that much money here to spend, but we will help. We will assist. So what I'm saying to you is legacy is there to assist. We will always assist. And that's why we don't mind if a veteran speaks to us and we ask him if he wants to. Man, what do you do today? No, I've got that shop there. And I'll say, well, this shop, guys, come and support a veteran. Let's work with each other, because ain't nobody else is going to help you. No one else is going to help you. It is that simple. That's what I've learned in life. People just don't care. So we need to take care of ourselves. We need to help ourselves. And therefore it happens that somebody writes a book and he needs help to get that book under the intention of people to buy it. Many of these veterans, they really need the money which comes in like that. And I can tell you as an author, and I wrote more than 60 books. It is, man, you're lucky if you can buy even dinner for the wife. With the money you make from a book, you make no money from books. The publishers and those people make the money, not you. You normally get screwed. I mean, I rejected the largest publishing houses in the world twice under 2 names. I'm very proud of it, because I looked at their contracts, which of course as a legal man I fully understand, and it was so one-sided, such crap, such nonsense, that I just told them to, take a hike. That's quite a nice reply from me. It starts with a few F's. So if you've written a book and you need to bring it under the attention, we will always help you. If you have a publisher behind you like Tafelberg or whatever, and I'm just mentioning a name, can be anyone, Random House, I don't care. You're not welcome at Legacy. We're not going to help you. Why? Because you got these people behind you to assist you. You don't need me. And if you want me, you're going to pay a lot of money, really a lot of money, more than what you have, for us to broadcast your book for you so that your publishers can make the money. That's not going to happen. If you're writing one of these please feel sorry for me, I was conscripted, oh, I saw so many atrocities. I don't want you. Man, I just don't want you. I don't want to hear even your story. I'm not interested. I don't care. But perhaps one of the other presenters will be a little bit more nicer than me because I'm fed up with such people. I enjoyed my service time. I like being there. In fact, I didn't like that much to come home. That I didn't like that much at all. I had nothing waiting for me at home. And there is an episode coming out between Stefano D and myself where we talk about these things. And I mean, we can go on to that for a long time, but the time for please feel sorry for me is gone. You're not going to find it here. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. Then let's talk about Patreons. There's nothing more in legacy which caused more havoc than Patreon. Basically, guys, we have expenses, right? You cannot run a show like this without time. I spent all my time on this, basically, and I can't spend all my time on this. I've got to help my wife here. We've got a guest house, which is 4 stories high, which is being rebuilt, renovated now here in Phuket. All of you are welcome. And we're going to open a vegan restaurant quite soon. We have to put the place in the market. Once we sell that place, or this place where I'm sitting now, probably the next project will start. I cannot do this anymore for 12, 13, 14 hours a day. It's not possible. I'll have to scale down to about 2 videos a week from my side, and that's why I'm so happy about these other people coming. I'm so happy about Fossey sitting in Ireland willing to edit, and he really edits his ass off, and he's very good at it. Let me tell you, those episodes of Ops Amazon, Fossey. It's Fossey who edited those things. I just sat here and look pretty. But of course, I can't do it. You know, I was voted twice in 2 different schools as the ugliest kid I've ever seen. Something like the missing link. But I must be honest, I was always blessed at those days as well, you know. Then where I wasn't blessed, I had curly hair. So, yeah, no, it was different, man. Which is quite funny. Just laughing about it. But yeah, so Patreons, in all honesty, is really contributing, and we're really grateful. It goes up and down. We don't know. Sometimes people comes on for a month. For that month, I get every Friday they get a video which the people with non-Patreons will only see 6, 7 weeks later. But you will see it. It is not that there'll be anything on Patreon ever which you will not see. You just won't see it at the same time. And that's how we reward these guys. They go up and down. The paying ones is contributing anything between $140 to $160 a month. So we're talking about a budget of about $200 a month, which is about, let's say, 4,000 rands. I don't really know what's the, the rate between the rand, and so I just know it's ridiculous. It shouldn't be that high. But anyway, that's how we make it. But you guys know, it's really hard. It's not money. It's really not money. I mean, for us to do this, every presenter has to get Zoom, which is a paid version of Zoom. That's about $12, $15 a month. And that is not the time, that's not the equipment, that's not nothing. You can imagine if Anita now has to go and record these guys at Savati, yes, she can use her cell phone, and she will use her cell phone. But then you also need one of these Chinese tripod little thingies. You need like a microphone. I think the poor woman will need a big hat with our logo on it. Because the sun can quite get you there from behind, you know, on Golop, Southern Golop, damn warm, very warm, terribly warm, dreadfully warm. Yeah, can I put it more than that? You know what I mean. There's always things going on for expenses, which I'm trying to cover, because trust me, if I say to you, I feel very bad if a guy like Andrew has to fill his car with diesel, cost him probably 1,500, 2,000 rands, I don't know. And he has to drive somewhere, have to record these people, bring it back. Where Andrew goes, his wife Marlene was a wonderful woman. She goes with. Why not? Of course, cannot separate a man and his wife. That's silly. And so, you know, it costs money. And these guys are contributing out of their own pockets. And I'm really grateful for them. And none of us here can say we're rich people. I mean, we're really not. So I couldn't quite understand why people were so upset about Patreon. I think it was a misunderstanding that they thought they would not be able to see the videos for free on YouTube or the other channels, and therefore they overreacted a bit. Let me say once again, you will always be able to see the videos for free. Minus these stupid ads, which I can do nothing about. But that's only on YouTube. On the other channels like Odyssey and Rumble, no ads, nothing. They're not giving us any hassle there, but the main channel would be YouTube. People just don't go to Rumble, they don't go to Odyssey. Nothing happens there. If you have 1,000 views on YouTube, you will perhaps have 2 views on Rumble. It's not being marketed or anything. I see it as a backup. But David, YouTube finally decides they're gonna get rid of us and they can do it whenever they wish. We just carry on at Rumble. That's what's gonna happen. We're just gonna carry on. So I feel quite confident about that, but you need to know where Rumble is. And I keep on saying, go and look at every single description under a video, read the descriptions and see what stands there. You'll find very useful information, I would say. And that's that story with Patreon. If you can become a Patreon, guys, it's for a good cause. Please become one, $5 a month. If you can afford it, it's not money. If you can't afford it, if money is tight, then please don't do so. I don't want you on my conscience. I don't want to hear that we've taken money out of you or whatever. The funny thing about that is we get a lot of letters from the guys who say their wives are getting a bit the clip because we're always watching Legacy. Yeah, some people say to me, well, perhaps we should reduce the videos into one a week. Well, guys, we can't do that. There are so many of you who needs to come on. As it is now, we're going to record you and you won't be on for 6-7 weeks. That's how far we are ahead, and that is a good thing. That's a very good thing. So, yeah, so even if a wife turns a bit on it, hello, I apologize most humbly, but this is important. It's important for our history that it stays there. Okay, then also at the end of the year, we talk about what we think videos we enjoyed the most, or videos we had the most people banned, things like that. Now, every presenter will tell you that each video is unique and that it's fantastic. I used to drive Rebecca nuts, but now she's not even listening anymore because I would come out and say, yeah, honey, this was just fantastic. Then next week, same story. Honey, this was just, because it's amazing. The people who's on here is just amazing people. All of you is just amazing people. You didn't realize it. But now I think you do, and you can stand up with pride. Hou jou kop hoog, soos my ma altyd gesê het. Hou jou kop hoog. Yeah, that's the other thing we can't talk about on this show is COVID, for obvious reasons. We can't do that. I was just thinking about it because my mother died of COVID, like so many other people. And interesting, we have Colonel Dr. Ben Stein, 7-Met commander, and chemical weapons and biological weapons expert. And so I asked him in his second episode, now, sir, was COVID, was it a biological weapon? Sadly, he answered me, but I can't broadcast it for you because, for these reasons which I mentioned. But he did have very strong feelings about it. And probably not what you think. But anyway, that's by the by. So which video is this year the most people banned? Well, I hold the record. Swineland. Police State, Switzerland. Swine. Yeah, I made that video and I must tell you there was an enormous reaction. It seemed to me people were either thinking I'd gone insane and I'm an idiot, and I hate people and I'm not a Christian, and they went on and on about it. I was even sent some prayers. I was offered assistance from a psychologist for free, all sorts of things, but the majority of people actually were very positive. Thank you for that. By far the majority, I would say about 95%, were like, yeah, man, we need that information. We were wondering about this swine. I will not regret making that video. I felt I had it on my chest. I felt I had to warn people, and so I did. And that is the one which most people got banned from. Then The other one which people got banned from is also when I spoke to my mentor, Professor Walter Wyff, Seventh-day Adventist chaplain, man who wrote many books, has hundreds of videos out, and he's got a channel which is 100 times bigger than what we are, and a world famous man. But he did his military service, and I went there and I gave my own testimony on his own channel, which went for about, I don't know, 45,000 views, which was nice. And then I invited him on our channel here, and then people just went insane. Oh, I've got so much abuse, as much abuse as we got for the Hamas Israel videos, just horrible things which were said, which I don't quite understand, man. If you don't like a video, why do you even watch it? Just let it go. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't want to see. I don't want to see Joe Biden making a speech and standing there sniffing little girls' hair and what. There's a lot of things I rather would not like to see in life. So if you don't want to see a video, guys, just let it go, man. It's like a freedom of choice. Go to the next one, or just say, okay, I don't agree, mark it down, whatever. But don't start insulting the guest and don't start insulting my presenters. I'm bound to react. I will react. There's no doubt about it. And I will ban you. So I don't care about views. I don't care about anything except the history. And any veteran has a right to talk. The Israeli guys have a right to talk here too. Even if you don't agree with them, that's fine. But give them a space to talk. As we will give you a space to talk, unless you come out with bloody nonsense, of course. You know, start saying that we just shot people left, right, and center, that we are a bunch of killers, that we just, you know the stories. I'm not going to entertain that nonsense. Or come to me and say that NATO is all powerful and it's going to defeat the entire world. I wrote books on that. I can tell you how shit NATO really is. We saw it in Ukraine, Russia, you know. No, they're not as good as you think they are, if you think like that, which I think a lot of you don't actually. Because you have to open your eyes beyond the Hollywood versions of life. And yeah, so Walter Wyff to me was a highlight, that we had to ban a lot of people. And then, of course, the Amazon episodes, you know, when you sit speaking to the special forces people, and you just see them switch. You see them, they're sitting there talking nonsense, and then you start recording, and the entire attitude changes. It's like they whoop, they just whoop, they switch on. Ask Fossey, he'll tell you about it. It's just amazing to witness, and that's what you see. And then they just become these professional soldiers, the same with the admirals who were on Amazon. It's just fantastic. I had such a great time recording these guys, talking about them. Frans van Dijk is telling me they're going to come back. They're going to talk about some attack which happened before Ieki, which was very successful. They attacked the base, and because they won at that fight, that's when Ieki came on, where they still won. They still reached their objectives, but of course they took these massive casualties. We're going to talk about Obstros Day. I understand the 4 Recce members are busy with that, so we're going to record that at some stage. So we've got a year full packed with things, you know. It's got to be fascinating. It's got to be exciting. As always, I'm saying to you guys, please come and talk to us. If you have ideas, talk to us as well about your ideas. Thank you for being here. Really, I mean it. Thank you for being here. And now, let us give you our presenters. I've asked each of them to make a short clip for us. I'm sure some of them did and some of them didn't. Let's give them a chance to tell what they think about the year as well. And I will leave you with the following wishes. God bless you. May all your dreams come true this year. May you find the peace. May you find whatever you're looking for. And thank you once again for being with Legacy. Until we meet again, God bless you all.
Greetings, dag sê. 'Tis the silly season, but it's also the season of gratitude. Yeah, for me, that's the way life works. It's the season of gratitude. So, seeing that it's a season of gratitude, I can then get rid of my noddy hat. We put it down one side, and we can get to today's chat. Short, brief, short and brief. There, hair's all done now. Coming towards the end of the year, as I've just said, it's the season of gratitude. For many, it's the silly season, but let's just call it the season of gratitude. We are here because of you. Firstly, I want to say thank you for all the support you have shown the channel this year, but specifically me in the comments. I've had so many positive comments, and I've also had uh, the, the opportunity to build distant yet quite close friendships with folk, relationships. I'm a bit loath to say relationships. Let's just say friendships with folk who have interacted with me on the channel and interacted with us. Thank you for your positive support. Koos asked me for a highlight or two of the year, and I'm not going to make this long, but what I'm going to say is I'm going to say thank you to all the SAF folk who have um, laid down some of their personal histories and also some of the Air Force histories from their own perspective. That's what it's all about, isn't it? I'm going to say particularly thank you to the lot in Port Elizabeth. The Air Force Base Port Elizabeth group is pretty strong. They have lots going, and they had a reunion earlier on in the year, and I'm pleased to say that they sort of involved me at a distance. I do even have my hat, and thank you for the guys who contributed to that. Then there was Marnie and Rob, who did quite a lot of sterling work in the background, especially when it comes to the memorial service and the laying to rest of DJ, fellow engineer DJ De Kock. Thank you so much for involving me with that. Other SAF memorables. Actually, I almost slipped up there. There's a few in the making or have been made, but they haven't shown yet. So I can't mention them. And I was going to mention one or two. Anyway, I can't. So thank you, Budgie Burgers. Thank you, Martin Lowe. Thank you, Peter Green. Thank you so much, guys, for coming to the fore with your stories. Thank you again to Dr. Steve. Really appreciate the fact that you took the time off to come and talk rugby. Yeah. I still sort of want to see if you'll be prepared to give us a nabetrachting. What's that? A post-mortem of the World Cup final. A very interesting World Cup. 1-1-1. Nelson, 3 games in a row. I don't think anybody can claim to have won 3 games in a row with 1 point. But as something that Dr. Steve likes to say, look at the scoreboard. Doesn't matter how it happened. Look at the scoreboard. 4 times world champs. Yes, I am a member of that tribe. Yes. Okay, if you thought I was going a bit bonkers, maybe I am. It's the silly season, as I said. Anyway, there were so many others. Koos went off to South Africa, and he forwarded a number of videos, and I had to edit. But that's what I'm here for, folk. That's what I'm here for. 3-2 Battalion. I've got to know quite a few of you lads, know in inverted commas. Thank you so much for allowing me into your lives in that way that I was able to edit. There's names I'd like to name here. Peter Williams, Colonel France, 3-2 and reconnaissance stalwart and star, Colonel France. Then I've got to say this. I've got to. One of the edits that I did that has stuck with me, and I need to go back and go and watch it again. Is he was a young 19-year-old. No, sorry, I've rephrased that. He was a young 18-year-old, and by the time he turned 19, he was an old man. He wasn't an old man, but the amount. Zach Garrett, thank you for your story. It resonated with me somehow on a different level. I don't know why. Maybe because of that restaurant of yours down in Coffee Bay. I need to get there. I do need to get there. Thank you for all the other very interesting tales. 3-2. I've got to say thank you to Reinhard Hartzenberg. He allowed me to edit some of his videos, which are now currently over this Christmas period. There is a mini series on the go, which just started recently. There's 6 videos in that mini series. I had to split it up, otherwise you would have had about 6 hours in one go, and I didn't think that was you would lose interest in it if it was that long. Anyway, of my tops of the year, I think I must have spent at least 100 hours on editing, re-editing, splicing, resplicing, editing, and re-editing. 3 videos, 7 hours of video material. It was more, but of course it cut down to 7 hours for 3 episodes. Now, I'm going to specifically stress this because number 2 and 3 came out at the same time as the happenings in October in Israel. So I think some of those were missed. I think you need to go back and go and look at that story. It is absolutely spellbinding to see and hear what those guys from 1 and 4 Recce achieved. And don't forget the Navy. It's a 3-parter. The first part was let's just call it the live reconnaissance on site. That was they got there to Lobito Harbor via submarine. So the Navy was big time involved. So yes, Artist and Ginger, those 2 sort of, that was episode 1. And then episode 2 and 3, the operation, how they got there, 2 strike craft, the secrecy involved, the Navy once again came to the fore. And then 4 Recce took the lads at night. The 1 Recce guys did the job, and boy, oh boy, did they do the job. Go back. I've put the cards in here, but go back and go and watch those movies. Absolutely astounding. I think Koos has said on a number of occasions that these operations, these Recce operations, have been studied in depth in military schools in various places in the world. Any case, I don't want to talk much longer about it. Just go and watch it. Yeah, towards the end of the year, I became involved with Lieutenant Colonel Steph Nudia and his antics. He was part of the 3-2. He's got a chapter, and then so it goes on. So there's interesting things going to happen in the new year regarding some of the activities of the 3-2 group or groups, Cape Town and Transvaal, and they're planning on going up to erect something in Angola with approvals that have been approved, all those kinds of things with the full approval of the Angolan government. And so there's nothing secret and hidden here. It's all transparent. But just before I go, 3-1 Battalion, I have to thank those folk too. They came willingly to come and chat with me. I was sort of the main point of contact at Legacy. You can come back, lads. you can come back. I'll talk more. I'd love to talk more. There's some things happening still today in South Africa where the 3-1 battalion guys are involved. I'm not going to name names, but I want to say one thing. Koos's trip to the Kimberley Postmasburg area where the 3-1 battalion and 3-2 battalion folk are led to a heart-wrenching episode where he met a 3-1 battalion veteran. Gosh, it was a veteran that's lost both his left arm and left leg. Koos found him sitting in dark squalor. His eyes were also busy going. In dark squalor, no heating, no running water, no nothing. This is a South African Defence Force veteran, folks. People aren't looking after the suffering veterans anymore. The 3-2 guys, I have to name a certain Mr. Kevin Johnson there. He's very proactive, got involved, and before you wiped your eyes, I think there were 15 or 16 wheelchairs that were put not only at the disposal of 3-2 veterans and their families and children, but also anybody else that needed one. Kevin opened it up. The 3-2 guys opened it up. But I'd love to say that all is wine and roses there in the Kalahari now, where the folk are, where their lives have been improved terrific, but it's not quite. There's been a lot of work gone in the background. S.V. Fourie and his committee and a few other folk who have joined in willingly for building the diocese or rebuilding diocese house. There's been donations of furniture, and there's been donations of time and material, and there's been donations of money, quite a lot of money. Thank you, folk. Thank you. Legacy Conversations has a terrific value when it comes to helping others like that, and also for building camaraderie. That to me is one of the key reasons why I joined Legacy, was to I don't have money to offer, but I have time, and it's rewarding for me because I have built friendships. I have also learned an exceeding amount of what our guys did there. I was there, yes, but I think I drop in the bucket. I was there a lot, yet I don't know that I knew a tenth of what was going on. So from me, from us here in Ireland, from me and my good lady, I say thank you. I say thank you to Koos and Rebecca. I say thank you to the Legacy Conversations YouTube channel members. From our point of view, from Andrew and lately Nikki and I say thank you to you guys and girl, lady, Nikki. I'm looking forward to speaking with that husband of yours in the new year. He's not gonna get away with it. And thank you for everything you guys have done in the background. Thank you for the support you have shown, Koos and Rebecca and Legacy Conversations, and may you be richly rewarded for what you have done. Koos and Rebecca, may you be richly rewarded too. I do say thank you again and again. I can't stop saying this is the season of gratitude. This time of the year, reflect peacefully, reflect in depth, and say thank you. The more you say thank you, the better your life will be. That's my motto, really, sort of. Well, my other motto, as happy as a pig in. Bye.
We wish you
A
a
Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy silly season, everybody. Happy,
Happy, happy, happy.
happy silly season. Enough. Bye.
Good morning, all. It's hard to believe that my first year as a legacy presenter has sort of come to an end. My very first video was the 13th of January with Jan Milan explaining the rattle. It's been a very interesting year meeting lots of 3-2 guys, 6-1 guys, Air Force guys, Pathfinders, national intelligence. Really been a lot of knowledge gained for myself in presenting these videos, and I'm hoping that you guys all enjoyed them. And yeah, from me and my family, Marlene, my wife, we wish you all a very good 2024, new adventures, and yes, enjoy it and take it easy. Cheers.